But in the first prediction we're going to get to, I mean, this is a big one. I mean, I love when Raul Rosas Jr. fights. I mean, I just love it. And every time he's getting a healthy opponent, right? Remember, he lost to Christian Rodriguez. That's his only loss. Guy's 20 years old now. And this time he's taking on Vince Morales. Now, he's the favorite, and he fights in the bantamweight division. But he does have that one loss over his head, but he's fighting in Mexico. It's hard to see him losing, but you never know. So this is the first fight we're getting into. This is fight four. Raul Rosas Jr. versus Vince Morales. Check it out. In the bantamweight division at UFC Mexico City, you got a big one here with the youngster Raul Rosas Jr. 10-1 takes on Vince Morales, who comes in at 16-9. And this is another big opportunity for Rosas Jr. fighting at home in Mexico. And we've seen him now over several UFC fights. Guess what? He's just 20 years old. I mean, it's crazy. Both guys stand 5'9". Vince Morales is 34. So 14-year age difference. Morales, 3-inch reach advantage. He stands right-handed. Rosas Jr. is a switch stance fighter. Morales lands 3.8 significant strikes per minute to 1.6 for Rosas Jr. And that's something he's got to get better at, because right now it's all the takedown game. He lands more than one takedown per round, but if that's not working, that could be a problem for him. Now, he's come into the UFC and taken it by storm, really. I mean, he's basically 5-1, one of those wins coming at the Contender Series. He did lose to Christian Rodriguez by a decision, and, it was just a fight that, he landed at 3 takedowns to 1, but got outstruck 29-2. And that's the thing. If the takedown game isn't dominant, he has shown that he can't stand and strike with his opponents, at least as of yet. But then he comes back and beats Terrence Mitchell by KO, submits Ricky Tercios. That was a big one. And beat Aori Kalang, where he looked more well-rounded. 41-22 in significant strikes, 3-0 in takedowns. So he's already getting better. And he's going to continue to do so for over the next 7 to 10 years. I mean, it's wild. Now, Morales has lost 4 in a row, but against good fighters. Jonathan Martinez, Miles Johns, all these coming by decision, Taylor Lapilus, and Elijah Smith. So these have only made him better, right? Before that, he was beating Luis Smolka, Draco Rodriguez. This all goes all the way back to 2021 and 2020, but struggling right now. And that tells me that Raul Rosas Jr. better win this fight. Because if he doesn't, that's like saying, well, he's not as good as the other 4 fighters that Vince Morales lost to. Morales has 9 losses. Yeah, he's 34 years old. He's in peak form in terms of the age at 34, right? So, could there be problems here for Raul Rosas Jr.? Of course, but I don't foresee that happening. I think this is a fight that he's got to dominate. He will dominate. He'll get takedowns early and often. And Vince Morales' takedown defense is below average at 60%. So, this is another one that Raul Rosas Jr. gets to fight at home. He should lead in significant strikes. He should lead with the takedown game, which will help him lead in significant strikes. So I just don't see a path for Vince Morales to get the win on the road here against Raul Rosas Jr. I think Raul Rosas Jr. wins by decision to move to 11-1 here, bantamweight division, UFC, Mexico City. Yeah, we can't go against a phenom, right? You cannot go against a phenom in this one. He's only 20 years old, but the guy is phenomenal. I mean, you got to figure he's going to have a loss or two along the way in the build-up. Eventually, he's going to go up to a different level, and you might take a loss because he's only going to be 22, 23, 24. But when this guy's like 26, he's going to be the champ. I mean, it is what it is. All these other guys, Dvalishvili and others that are above him, are going to age out. He's the number 1 prospect in the bantamweight division right now. One guy that might be around, though, will be Sean O'Malley, because he's still kind of young, I believe. I'd love to see that fight eventually if Sean O'Malley can get back to winning form.